What's up, world? Lee here with Sticks, Strings, and Other Things, my teeny tiny little corner of the internet where I come to you every other week to chit-chat with you about all of the crafty things I've been getting my hands on too. Today is the 4th of February 2025, and this is episode 100. You may have noticed I wasn't here 2 weeks ago. A little bit of quick admin before I jump into things, and that would be because I tried. I did try. I tried to film. It didn't work. I wasn't ready to do that level of anything. If you're new here, I had surgery. It took a lot out of me. And yeah, if you aren't new here, you know why I had surgery, and we'll get into that in life. But I also want to state that on my last episode, there are very many very kind comments, and I just want to thank all of you for them. They meant a lot, and it was very sweet. If you made me cry, it happens. Just wanted to thank you all. I'm also going to send out a quick thank you to Karen, the stitching owl, for the comments she made on her last Flosstube. Thank you so much, Karen. Your thoughts are very welcome. And again, all of that will be more in life. Just wanted to get that out right at the beginning because I felt it was necessary. I'm coming to you from the Pacific Northwest. It is overcast, but the sun is sort of attempting to come out. We've been having a lot of weird weather lately. Snow, rain, sun, cold for us. Not North Dakota cold, not Montana cold. We're talking, it's chilly for the Pacific Northwest. That's a different kind of cold. So if there's some weird lighting stuff going on, it's because the sun doesn't know what it's doing. I'm filming a little bit later than I normally would because I still am trying to get my life together, basically. So let's get into it. What am I drinking today? I brought it. I am drinking Friday afternoon tea, and this is the Double Cream Earl Grey. As you can tell, it's mostly gone. Means I like it. It's in my Witchy Stitcher Coven mug because it is. And I'm wearing lipstick, and it's a white mug, so there will be transfer. Didn't think about that until just now. It's definitely a good Earl Grey. You have to like Earl Grey, but it is soft. It is kind of soft for an Earl Grey because of the double cream. Anyway, it's delightful. Now, let's get into what have I been up to since it's been a month. It has been 4 weeks since I last filmed. What have I been up to? Well, not as much as you might expect, and yet so much more that I actually thought I'd be able to do. I'm not sure. Oh, I did forget one thing. Yeah, I'll go get it later. First, I'm going to have some stats because I'm tracking them and going to say them. I tracked them last year but didn't talk about them much, but I'm going to talk about them. I did 21,499 stitches last month. And yes, there is a part of me that is really annoyed I didn't do one more stitch to make it 21,500. Oh well. I had 3 new starts and 2 finishes. However, one of those starts was a finish as well, so it doesn't really count. Let's get into what I finished because we should. The first thing is my start and my finish. I used a scrap of fabric. I don't know what it is. It's a purple. It's pretty. And I used one of my Pirate and Robin black flosses that I purchased. I think, if you don't mind my reach, I used this one, which was Abyss. This is a Bendy Stitchy freebie, and I started this on January 20th. Yeah, that's... The sun is going to be weird. Yes, with fear for our democracy, I dissent. I changed it a little bit. I didn't do the outside around it, and I just put the words 2025. Again, I started and finished this on the 20th. My mind hasn't changed, and it's only getting worse. So, this... yeah. First finish. My second finish in the cross stitch world was my 100 Stitches a Day project. It was Scattered Seed Samplers Sweet Reward Pin Keep. Since I got this as the club, it has everything in it, and so I put the finished piece back in so that when I eventually get around to fully finishing things, I'll have it all together. So there is, it's super blown out. How about that? That direction. We'll go this way. Oh, son, you are a thing. I very much enjoyed this. It is sweet. It is pretty. And yes, I still put the bee here in the cartouche here, because for me, that B stands for bird. There's something sticky on this bag, so I'm trying to be very careful. It's like leftover tape, but it's still sticky and I don't want to touch it. So that got finished. So I do have a new 100 Stitches a Day project. I'll get to that in whips. What else have I finished? I finished my I do not have convenient sock blockers, so you shall see them unstretched. I finished my January socks. These are the library socks. I don't remember who made them. It's a free chart off of Ravelry, and I used my January yarn. My partner has given me a gift. He did the work. That was the gift he gave. And he put one skein of one of my yarns into a bag and labeled it with a month. And so every month I'm opening up a new skein of yarn. It's from my own stash, so I'm not adding it to my stash, but I'm trying to work through what he pulled out for that month, because this way I get my very own yarn subscription, but I didn't spend any money and I didn't increase my stash. So this was January's. And this was Not My Cat, is the colorway, and it is Stranded Dye Works. Sadly, Jude is no longer dyeing yarn, but this was one of his yarns, Not My Cat. So, pair of socks, wonderfully squishy. I also finished another Salish cap. I don't remember who Salish cap is by either. It is a purchased pattern. It's just a big hold two strands together watch cap type hat, folded over brim. Really nice and handy. I am using leftover yarns with these, so I'm just grabbing 2 yarns from my pile of I've already used these yarns. I still have a lot left over because, you know, that's how sometimes it works. And so I'm just grabbing excuse me, I'm just grabbing 2 skeins, holding them together, and having fun with it. This one striped weird. I didn't anticipate that one of the yarns would stripe like that, but that's okay. I plan to make several of these because they're easy and they're kind of fun, and it's a nice little hat. My last project is a gift I've been working on, and now the hard part will be to get it to the people for whom it is intended. This is a project for my cousin and her partner. They're having a baby. It's so sweet. They're having a little boy, and I couldn't make it to the baby shower because I had just gotten through with surgery, and also I hadn't finished this because I had just gotten through surgery. But it is finished now. It is washed, it is blocked, it is all the things. And this is the Sand Drift blanket by Pearl Soho. So there's one half. It's a big old blanket. So that's the width. There it is. And it is so wonderfully squishy. I don't remember what I used. I will put it here. I mean, it is squishy. It is nice. It is really, really, really a great blanket. And I just need to get it to them now. And it's washable. I've already put it through the washer and the dryer, so I know that it can handle that. It's a baby blanket. I mean, you want to be able to throw it in the washer and the dryer. Excuse the sun here. It's actually peeking out now. I may have to do something about the blinds. Ah, look at that. It is so, I wish this was touch-o-vision, because you need to feel the squish of this. Look at it. Oh, it is so good. It is just so good. But now I need to get it to them, and I'm not sure how. So that'll be the hard part, but it will get to them, and I hope they will enjoy it. Those are my finishes. I know I'm going to do just a touch more stats, because I like stats and I've been doing them. I, for my knitting, am doing a grams of yarn in versus grams of yarn out every month. So last month, new yarn in was 215 grams. I don't know what one of them, oh, one of them was a Yarnable, because I thought I'd canceled it in time, but it actually showed up in January. That I would have shown that in my last episode. Grams out this month was 722. Thank you, baby blanket. So for the month of January, I had 507 grams out of my stash. What am I calling my stash? Anything that was actually in my house on the 1st of January. That was my stash. Anything that goes out from the 1st of January on, out means I've stitched it up. It doesn't need to leave my house. It just needs to be made into an object. Because I knit for myself. I'm a very selfish knitter. Then it is out of my stash. It is now an object, and I am happy. So that is that. So those are my finishes. I feel pretty good. Now, granted, it's a month. It's been a month. So a lot has happened, and I was able to do a lot. Also, in case you aren't aware, I can be a little long-winded when speaking, so buckle up. This could be a very long episode. We will find out. Those are all my finishes. Let me double check. Yes, Pearl Soho. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, I have notes because I knew I wasn't going to remember anything. Now let's get into my whips. My plans for the year have slightly altered, just a little. At the end of my whip parade, I stated what my plans for the year were going to be and how many stitches I was going to do in each project that I pulled out according to what year I'd started it in. I have altered those stitch amounts because they were very, very optimistic, very, very unattainable for what I want to do. Instead of jumping everything up 1,000 stitches, which is what I did, I have now altered that, and everything has been jumped up 500 stitches. So any new start I do has to have a minimum of 1,000 stitches. Anything from 2024 is now 1,500, 2,000, 2,500, and on. I don't need to belabor addition to people who hopefully can do that. Anything that I started in 2019 or earlier, I came back to knitting, and I came back to stitching in 2020 thanks to the pandemic and a move. So anything that is older than that I called a 2019 start, because I don't know, and those are getting 4,000 stitches. My BAP, I have 3. I originally had said I was going to do 10,000 stitches. No. We cut that in half. That's now 5,000 stitches. So there is that. A little bit of an update for that. So what have I worked on? Well, I'm just going to start grabbing bags and we'll find out together. In this bag, which is an Evertote bag, is, I don't know, what's in here? Ah, we're going to talk about that one later. It's a new start. We're doing whips right now. We're doing whips. In this spidery bag, I have, oh, where's the cover? Where's the cover? A Mind Independent and Free by Carriage House Sampling. And this is, I don't remember when this one started, but I was supposed to do originally 4,000 stitches on it. I did the 2,500 or whatever it was. I have done the number of stitches I wanted to on this, so it can go back into my shelving, and the next time it gets called, I'll work on it again. When I first picked it up, again, this time, I had done all of the letters, but nothing else. I have chosen to not do the border of zigzaggy colors. I didn't like it, so I didn't do it. And there, oh, this light is evil. I did these very chunky horses. They've got thick necks and they're short-legged, cute little horses. I did this tree. I'm going to call it a tree. And then I have started the words. So far I have no glory I covet, no riches I want, ambition and beauty are nothing to me. And I've started the alphabets that go down the side. So this is where a mind independent and free stands. I have plenty of room on this fabric. I don't know what this fabric is. All I know is I am not enjoying this fabric. It is a very loose weave, and therefore it's very easy to pull your stitches to. I am not a tight stitcher, but it is very easy to pull your stitches tight and just squish the fibers and squish the X's, and it's very finicky. Even put in a frame, I am able to crush those stitches, and I don't want to crush the stitches. So I am not a fan of this fabric. I have plenty of it. I don't know what it is. It's an odd color. I've had it for ages. Not a fan of stitching on it. I will finish what I'm doing. So that is one of my whips. Hold on a second. I'm going to close the blind because I'm hoping that'll help at least a little bit. We'll find out. One moment. All right, I'm back. Now we just have stripes, and that's got to be easier. That has got to be easier because it was cloudy when I started, and now it's sunny. Oh, Seattle weather. What are you doing? Technically Pacific Northwest, but whatever. Right, what was I doing? Oh, I was doing whips. What else do we have? Yeah. Ooh, I don't remember if I shared this one. I don't recall, so I'm going to share it again. This is, again, Carriage House sampling. This is Village of Hawthorne Hollow. This was my 12 by 12 at the beginning of the year, and my goals for it are that every month I will do 1,000 stitches in one of the boxes. So for January, I did 1,000 stitches in the first box. I have not yet done 1,000 stitches in box 2 yet, but this is where I will put the 1,000 stitches I'm going to be putting into it for this month. That is where 1,000 stitches got me. I have a fish, I have part of a snake, part of stuff, and there's the whole thing overall. The way I did my 12 by 12 is each hour I did an hour in a box. And as you can see, some hours got a lot more work than others. I seem to have a hole in my cardigan. I am using a Vicki Clayton silk conversion, and this is 1/2 on 40 count. The Mind Independent and Free is also a Vicki Clayton silk conversion, and it is also 1/2, but I have no clue what count that is. It is so uneven, I couldn't even tell you. I think it's supposed to be, or it kind of sort of is, around about a 40, but some sections are about a 39, and some sections are about a 42, and some sections are about a 38. So, like I said, it's not the greatest linen. This linen, however, was lakeside linen, whatever was called for. Sand dune, vintage sand dune. It's great to work on. I love it. So there is another one of my starts, and that's one I will be working on this month as well, at some point. I have my, just kind of shoved in here. This is my 100 Stitches a Day project, and it is Fox and Rabbits, A Gathering of Acorns. I got this during the acorn gathering from Acorns and Threads, not in 2025, but in 2024. This was it. I did not go this year in any way, shape, or form. So this is, I just am using, one second, I need to sneeze. Since I got it during the acorn gathering, I am using it, all that was given to me, because it was a kit. And here is where I am. I'm making some great progress on the house. I have finished all of this area, all the leaves, and I am enjoying this. I am, again, thinking that perhaps I might start going up to 200 stitches a day for my 100 stitches a day project, just because I want to see more progress more quickly. We'll see. We'll see if I am through this today. I have stitched on this through today, so I still have a little bit more time. But it was like in the last couple of days, I was like, should I try to go up to 200 stitches? I know I've tried it in the past, and I might try it again. We'll see. I am enjoying it. This is a really pretty piece. I do think I am just going to do it as the cover picture shows. Since I got it during the acorn gathering, there is a section on the chart where you can stitch out gathering of acorns, I think, or acorn gathering or something like that. I think I'm going to leave that off and just do it as is depicted in the photo. I do enjoy a good fox and rabbit chart. And obviously, that's another one that I will be working on this month. I have no clue where I'm putting things. There's chaos everywhere. And here is Midnight Watch. It was one of my pieces that I pulled out, and I have finished it, so it is going away. Here's Midnight Watch. It is by Blackbird Design. I am using all the called for, and I have it on a Bestitch Me fabric. I don't recall which one. 1/2 on 40 count. And here's where I am. Oh, I did a lot. So I had a bit of this border when I started it, and I did however many stitches I'm supposed to. 2,000? I don't remember. A couple thousand, at the very least. I put in everything in the center as well. All of the center is new. And I put the buds on a majority of this outline. And there we go. Oh, so pretty. Look at that. Here, let me get those lines out of the way. I love that cat. I'm not going to enjoy putting that moon in behind the cat, but right now I am very much enjoying this one. We'll move it on down into the house next, I think. I am realizing that when I talk about these, I need to have a little bit more information so that I can tell you how many stitches I did on them, instead of, I don't remember what year I started this one, so I don't remember how many stitches it needed. And this one is going back because I have finished it for now. Living in here, which is a bag my mother purchased me for Christmas. It's an Evertook bag. What's living in here? Ah, of course, I know what's living in here. This is my 50th start from last year. It is my birthday start, Peacock, Unicorn, and a Badger. I was very excited because my wheels spun that I got to work on this again. And I did do 2,000 stitches on this, even though technically it should have only been like 1,500, but it was shortly after this that I decided to not have quite so many stitches. And I did some work on this. I am doing this one with all the called for flosses on a 40 count fabric. So by called for flosses, I mean I am doing the NPI silks, and I am doing it as the tapestry. Yes, yes, I will be doing the filled in green. Have I gotten there yet? No. But I have done some outlining. Oh, yes, there's a lot to go. There's a whole lot to go. But look at this. I had a lot of this in before from my start, I think. I had some of it at the very least. And then I filled in a little bit of this bug here. I have outlining of this bird and this flower and some acorn over here. I cannot wait. I loved working on this. So I'm going to fill in a lot of the outlines and then fill in the birds, and then around that I will start filling in the pieces like a giant coloring book. And I have a ways to go. But I'm enjoying this. It is so much fun. But I have finished it for now. So it too will be going away. What else do I have? I did pea corn, I did, oh, that's what I'm missing. Did gathering, midnight watch. Aha, all right. I am a part of, I blanked on her name. This is why I have notes, and I try to have more on my notes than I have for today. There's a person, she owns a store. It's on the East Coast, on the east side of the country. And she does a fancy lady Zoom. Her name has escaped me. Anyhow, I was free for fancy lady Zoom because she's moved days and it's now on Sunday and I can actually do that day. So my fancy lady is my Maidens of the Seasons. I have finished but not beaded winter, spring, and summer. And I have started on the Zoom autumn. Here's where I am for autumn. I've started filling in the outline of the piece for autumn, and I am putting in the branches for the leaves. That is where we got. And here is, here's the whole piece as it stands right now. I am doing this 2/2 on a 28 count Serendipity from Sugar Maple Fabrics, and they're out of business and have been for years, so sorry. I am using all of the called for, and will be using all the called for beads as well. This is looking nice. Look at that. Oh, so pretty. Anytime I can make it to the Fancy Lady Zoom, I will be pulling this one out and working on it. It is also on my wheel, so if it comes up in my wheel, it will also get work then. And it is just crammed into this bag that is way too small for it. But that's how I'm doing it. But it is done for now. Ooh, let me reach. And I think this is my last stitching whip. This is Map of Middle Earth. It is a Heaven and Earth Designs project. I've had it for ages, and it is full coverage, and it is huge, ginormous. I have been working on it for ages, and it's been put away for ages. It's had a lot. It's lived a lot. I was doing this in 100 square bits and just going down at a diagonal, 100 squares, 100 square blocks at a time, and parking. And then I got to a certain point and went, I can't handle all these threads. I can handle parking, but this is too much parking. This is just way too much. Way too much. It was chaos. I couldn't handle the chaos. So I started to slowly work those threads in while moving this into working it on the diagonal. Just completely, not in 100 stitch squares, just the diagonal. And you can see all the different ways I've worked on this project while I pull it up. There it is. Here, you can see, this page I did years ago, and you can see column lines in it, which is why I changed how I was doing things, because I didn't like seeing the column lines. But now, here, we'll go this way. I am not sure how to handle all this fabric. It is an 18 count Aida cloth, I think. I'm not sure. I am doing this 2/2. 2/1, sorry. I am doing it 2 threads. So I've moved it onto the diagonal. Here's that page that I finished ages ago. And now I'm moving this into the diagonal. Here's where I have all these parked threads. I don't mind this amount of parked threads. This amount of parked threads is fine. It was this, and there was so much more of it. I have so much. Very rude. My camera stopped filming. There were so many more parked threads. They were chunky like this section, and there were so many of them. I couldn't handle it anymore. But as you can see, I am moving this into a diagonal. Here you can see where I was doing it in the stair-steppy chunks, and I'm getting rid of that. I almost have for Linden here. I've got some wonderful mountains. You can see that I've reached this part. I'm going to have another little piece of land poking out here. It's very exciting. It's every single brown that ever existed in DMC, but that's okay. I've had this for ages. This is the large version of the chart because when it first came out, they had it and you couldn't read any of the words on the map. So what's the point of making that? It's absolutely ridiculous. Then they released the large version where you can actually read things like for Linden. And I purchased that. It had that one and started it way back then. And then, well, it's been in a closet for a very long time. And now it's back. I know that this chart is retired. You can't get it. I'm sorry. I don't purchase from Heaven and Earth Designs anymore for several reasons. But I do still have charts of theirs that I will work on and finish. It's so good. It looks really, really good. It's just, that's all I have. And there's a lot. Let me show you. Let me show you. Because this piece of fabric is for the project. And I don't have a lot of extra. The cover sheet I have is on a giant sheet of paper, but it's black and white. So there's the whole thing. I am over here. I have like that corner. That's it. That's all I have. This is going to take a very long time. I am currently at 7.45%. I have not made it to my 1 by 5,000 stitches that I want to do on it before I put it away to pull out one of my other 2. I have 3 total. So I'm going to put this one away and grab one of my other 2 full coverages. That's the word I was looking for. And then I will do 5,000 stitches on it, and then I will do 5,000 stitches on my 3rd one, and then I will come back to this one. And I am not doing these with timelines like, oh, I want to have this done by X. It's just however long it takes me. That's how all of my stitching is going right now. It's, okay, I have to do 2,500 stitches on this. And then it goes away and I spin and all will be well. Anyhow, that is all of my current whips for stitching. I do have a single knitted whip that I will show you. And then I have new starts. This is my knitted whip. The yarn, which I'm almost at the end of this skein, is living in this beautiful bowl that my mother gave me. It is so pretty. It's lovely. It feels really nice too. This is the Broom by Andrea Mowry. And I have it on a teeny tiny little needle, so I can't really show you very well. I've done the giant folded over collar, so it's going to be big and chunky. It's not supposed to sit up around your neck, it kind of sits out from your neck. And I am working down the raglan increases still, after which I will split for the sleeves and the body, and I will be able to work down the body. I am using Farmer's Daughter's Fibers Odang DK? No, Odang Chunky? They're big fat Odang. Worsted? I don't know what weight it is. I forget. It's super fluffy, it's super chunky, and it's super bobbly, and I'm enjoying that. But I did learn one thing when working on this. I like sharp needles. I typically use Haya sharps because I like sharp needles. This is not a fabric you want to be using sharp needles on. Oh my gosh, the fluff. See this? Your sharp needle catches everything. So I needed to change my needles and go for a duller needle. I don't have very many dull needles. So after I finished the collar, I changed to slightly duller needles. They're still not dull enough, but they're better. And again, I'm just working away on it. I am doing this on a US size 7, which is a 4.5 millimeter. And I am doing one of the larger sizes. I don't remember which. I would have to look that up. But I'm loving it. It is a floof sweater. It is floofy, and it is soft, and it is so light, and it is squishy and scrumptious, and it's going to be nice. I just have to finish it, and I obviously need to wind up a new ball, because that's almost done. That is the main thing that I have been working on for my knitting, because I finished a blanket, and I finished a few other things. I am starting to do something in my knitting, which I will get into when I get into plans. I realized that, so I just stopped mid-sentence there when I was like, oh no, I'm going to discuss that in plans. Before we get into plans, I will show you my one new start, and that's what is living in here. This is To Phoenix for You. It is the Evertote Modern Folk Embroidery Roxy Floss Co. Valentine's stitch along. Now I know Caroline was saying that people were going to start it on the 14th. I've already started it. This is not a surprise one. You knew what you were getting when you purchased it, so I'm not concerned about showing off the project. But I did get the box, and I am working away on it. I am using what came in the box, which was, I purchased 40 count Arrowroot by Roxy Floss, and I'm using the Roxy Flossco flosses. And here's where we are. So I have this one, Phoenix, and all of that. I am working on this on Sundays, and so it's had 2 Sundays worth of work, and I'm just going to continue to work on it on Sundays until it is finished. As you can see, they gave me more than enough fabric. I wish I would have given myself just a skosh more in the way of border, but I didn't. I wasn't thinking. I think I was still high on medication drugs. There's the needle minder, I think is really sweet. Then there are the flosses. I have those in the Notions pouch. So we have Rhapsody, we have Firebird, which I haven't used yet. I do not have this color in the project yet. We have Crimson, which I am absolutely loving, and then we have Heart to Heart, which is the pink. I love that crimson color. And Firebird is going to be fun because this one is nicely variegated. It's a nice tonal, but you have all these bits of change in color on it. The pink does as well. I mean, they all do, but the Firebird is the most dramatic of them. I mean, it's a tonal, it's not that dramatic, but of these 4 tonals, Firebird is the most dramatic. And yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's pretty, it's sweet. Let me bring it forward for you so you can really see it. Isn't that just lovely? Ah, I do enjoy modern folk embroidery. So that was my new start. Now let's get into plans. I have several. I will be continuing to work on my broom for my knitting. The other part of knitting that I am going to do, I'm going to have to run and get, is my February yarn. I need to figure out what I'm doing with it. It's a beautiful color, and I will show it to you in just a moment. Actually, I'm going to show it to you right now. I will be right back. I'm back. This is February's yarn. Isn't it gorgeous? And I had to laugh. My partner was just going by color. He chose another Stranded Dye Works. So both January and February were from Jude, and that just cracked me up. This one is Red Velvet. It is a gorgeous, gorgeous red. Look at that. It's so good. Because Valentine's Day. Anyhow, I need to figure out what I'm doing with that, and then I need to knit it up this month. And it's already the 4th, and I haven't even started. It was sitting on my winding table, so that's what I'm going to do next. After this, I'm going to wind two skeins. I'm going to wind that one, and I'm going to wind my next one for my broom. Drinking problem. So, plans. Figure out what I'm going to do with that, then knit it out. Knit with my broom. And then on Wednesdays, which is what day this will be out, I'm going to take Wednesdays to be the day where I pull out one of my old whips in my knitting and I work on it for that day to try and get some of these older pieces progress and perhaps out of my stash. That is my goal. I have several, and will a day get a lot of them a lot of progress? No, but I may decide that as I pull them out on a Wednesday, and I'll keep repeating that same project every Wednesday, that when I finish my broom, maybe then that project just becomes the one I work on until it's finished. We'll see. Just trying to get some of my old projects moved through. I'm enjoying how I'm doing it for my stitching, so I'm going to try something for my knitting. And I'm going to sneeze. So those are my knitting plans. In stitching, I have my wheel. It pulled 5 projects. I have finished 3 of them. So that means I still have 2. And however you want to do the number 2. I've decided like 6 different ways. Didn't know you could do that. I have 2 still left. When I finish at least one of those, I will spin for 5 more projects so that I don't just have to work on this one and I can have some choice. The 2 projects that are still on my list are Dark Queen of the Earth and Pandemic. Pandemic is a 2020 project and Dark Queen is a 2023. So they need their appropriate amount of stitches. I haven't pulled out either one of them yet. So those are next on the list of what I want to work on stitching wise. I also have my monthlies, which I'm going to do before I get to these 2, because my monthlies are the ones I want to do every single month. That is 1,000 stitches on my Village of Hawthorne Hollow. That is 3,000 stitches into Baldequin Birdies, my Modern Folk Embroidery for the year, and my section for Put a Bird on It stitch along that I am doing with the Sunshine Stitchers. So those 3 have to happen, and then I can get to these 2, and then I will spin. I haven't done so yet, but everything's on my wheel and it will spin. I've decided that I'm not going to remove things off of that wheel. Everything stays on it until it's finished, because that's the whole thing, is I want to get through all of these pieces. I want to touch all of, maybe not all of them this year, but I want to be touching all of my projects and enjoying them. I also still have the 2,000 some odd stitches I still need to do in Map of Middle Earth. And so that one is still living out there too. I know I cannot do all of this in 1 month, and that's okay. I will get to them as I get to them. I'm not going to be starting new things very regularly this year. I want to get through pieces that I have. I technically had 2 new starts this year. One was the I Fear for Democracy, which I also finished. The other one was my 2 Phoenix for You. I want to have at least 2, maybe 3 finishes before I can start a new project. Neither one of those new starts count as a finish in my brain. These finishes that I'm thinking of before I can start something new have to be from my whip pile. So therefore, I only have 1 finish right now because I finished Sweetness of Spring. That's my only real finish for new starts. It all makes sense in my brain, and who knows, 6 months down the line, I may just be like, heck with it, I'm gonna start everything, yay! Who knows? So now I'm going to get into stash. I have a tiny bit. This is going to be a low buy year, but I do have a couple of things, mostly sort of gifts. Ooh, I need to reach really far for one thing. Apologies, we'll see if I left that one in. So one thing that I have is I already owned this. I already owned this piece. This is I Forget the Rest by Lindy Stitches. And I've wanted to do it for ages. My sister gave me a gift card for Christmas to 123 Stitch. So I kitted it. I'm going to be doing it on a 40 count. I think I even had I kitted it with all the called for. I'm going to be doing it 1/2 on 40 count. So that's what I did with my gift card. So that is technically stash, but I didn't spend much money because it was a gift card. And I think this is going to be what I want to start once I have those 3 finishes, because they're so cute. They're so adorable. Anyhow, there's that. I am still in one fabric thing, and that is from Fox and Rabbit. So I have my 40 count Melting Moments and dried Banksia. So I think this was December and this was January. Those are mine. It is the only fabric of the month I'm still in, but I am in it. And those are really pretty colors. Those are lovely. Ooh, nice. I am in one yarn of the month. It's not of the month. It's like every other or every third month, every quarter, something like that. I don't remember. It is my Barn Box from Bare Naked Wools, and this was this year. This was this latest one. It is called Old Norwegian DK. In the colorway, I don't think it has one because it's just, oh, Grandpa's Beard. It's so pretty. What I like about this particular yarn box is that it's all natural fibers. They're undyed, and they're usually breed specific, not always, but almost always have been breed specific, and they are more unusual breeds, ones you don't tend to see regularly. And yes, that does make them a little woolly. I like woolly yarns, so I'm okay with that. If all you want is super soft merino, this is not the club for you. But I love it because I get to play with new yarns that I don't get to see regularly, and also they do a Zoom call where they talk to you about the sheep. And you can join the Zoom call and you can have questions. I wasn't able to, so I had to watch the replay of the Zoom call. And they told you all about the old Norwegian sheep. And it was really kind of interesting. This is a sheep that is most like wild sheep in the past, genetically. It was kind of fascinating. And they're kind of cute. And they don't get sheared. You don't shear this sheep. They shed. And so there's different ways to do it. I forget what they call it, but like at some point you can kind of pretty much like grab the fleece and just pull it off the animal, and they're like, yeah, thanks, bye. Anyway, I didn't understand all of it because I was not exactly with it when I was watching it, but it was very fascinating, and they were very cute sheep, and they were showing them in the snow, and I thought they were adorable. But there's that, and I do want to work this one up. I'm thinking about making a hat out of this one, and the hat that I was looking at was named Crown Shy because it has some good cables, and I just have a feeling that this yarn would cable nicely. And it was my 115 grams that I got. So I got this in January. Oh, it's so squishy. I wish you could squish it. It is so squishy, and so it just got this wonderful bounce. So gorgeous, so beautiful, so luscious. And it looks so fluffy. I realize this is a DK and this is a fingering weight, but just look how fluffy it is. Oh, so beautiful. Okay. The last thing I'm going to show you is a gift, but it's technically stash because it came into my hands. My bosses gave it to me. Now, you look at this and you go, okay, that's a little weird. And that's how I felt when I first saw the cover. But then I saw the photos inside. Victorian house cats to knit. I want to show you some that don't have too much of the pattern. You can knit kitties in different shapes. That was the tiny window cat. There's another kitty. Where is he? Where is he? Where's the one I'm looking for? 1 second. I may pull some of this out so you don't have to watch me. Master Timmy's tuxedo. But you can do them in different colors too. How about the sleeping cat? That one's called the library cat. Oh, the window cat. The window cat is so cute. Okay, it's ridiculous. It's silly. It's just dorky as all get out. But I love it. I absolutely love it. And I am going to knit at some point. I'm going to knit one of these cats. They're ridiculous. They're silly. But they are oh so cute. And I mean, come on. You know you need this knitted cat, right? You do. It's just so sweet. That one's called the porch cat. And I just, yeah. So, at some point, I'm going to be knitting a cat. I mean, it's ridiculous, but they're cute. So, that was a gift, but it did come into my stash, and now I need to knit a cat, evidently. So that is stash. Not a lot, and hopefully that is how stash will continue for all of this year. Now I'm going to get into life, and I'm going to pause for just a second before I do. No, I need some tea first. I need fortification. Life. The reason I wasn't able to come 2 weeks ago is I was still recovering from surgery. I was diagnosed with breast cancer back in October, if you're new. If you're not, you know this already. I was diagnosed with breast cancer back in October. This is the second time I've been diagnosed with breast cancer, and it was a different breast cancer. This was lobular. First time was ductal. So, 2 cancers. Yay. This one was taken care of 4 years ago. 3 years ago. 3 years ago. And now I have it on this side, and it's all new. So I had surgery. Surgery was not fun. I do not like surgery. No one likes surgery. They took all the cancer out. They took some lymph nodes out. They got all of the cancer out, and there was no cancer in my lymph nodes, but they found a surprise cancer. So when they were doing the pathology for the cancer that they removed, they found a third cancer, a third breast cancer. They got it out too. Yay! But surprise bonus cancer was not on my list. It was way too small to be found through mammogram, ultrasound, MRI, or doing physical exams. There's no way anyone could have found it with the size that it was. But it was a third type. So, right now, as it stands, I'm healing well from that surgery. I mean, I have full range of motion again, and I can lift with this arm. Still need to limit the weight for it, but I do have a pinched nerve here, which evidently I just have to wait for it to heal with time, and it hurts. So that's no fun. There's massive twinges here. My back still hurts. Like, I am still recovering from the surgery. There was a lot. They do a lot to you when they're doing all of that. And it was just a lumpectomy. So it was just a lumpectomy. I'm comparing that to a mastectomy. I'm going to say just when it comes to that. All right. Bonus cancer. Because of that, when I went to see my oncologist, my medical oncologist, she's going to do an oncotype score test on my cancer to see if I would benefit from radiation, from chemo. I'll find that out in, I think it's 3 more weeks, whether or not I will be doing chemo. It originally hadn't been on the table because they didn't think it would be necessary, but now that I have bonus cancer, she wants to, but insurance won't pay for it without a high enough oncotype score. And so now I wait. She has put me on tamoxifen because she doesn't want me to wait a month without doing something to stop cancer. Because this is, both these, the cancer they know about and the surprise cancer are both ER and PR positive. So they are estrogen, they grow with estrogen. So I'm taking tamoxifen, which stops estrogen in the breast area. So that's where I am. So far, tamoxifen is fine, but I haven't been taking it for very long. I've taken it for about a week, not even a full week yet. And everything I've read says that the side effects don't really show up until about 6 weeks. We will hope that I get very few side effects. We'll find out. I will be doing radiation. I just don't know when, because I have to wait to find out if I'm doing chemo, and if I'm doing chemo, I have to do chemo first. And then I can do radiation. I will be doing a different kind of radiation than I had last time. Last time I had a handful of weeks of radiation and then a week of boost radiation, which was more focused and higher intensity in just the area of where the tumor had been. This time I am doing it, that same thing, but only in 5 days. So 5 days of very intense radiation with boost at the same time. So I'll be doing that at some point. Radiation wiped me out last time. It knocked me on my butt. The radiologist has already told me that when I have radiation this time with the type I'm having, I should make it through all 5 days of the radiation just fine, and then like 2-3 days later is when everything's going to hit me and I'm going to be knocked to my ass likely, because I was last time. She assumes that I will have a similar response, but that the most of the side effects don't really kick in until a couple days after. So yeah, get to cook my boob again. That'll be fun. That was sarcasm. I am talking about this bluntly because so many people don't. They just mention, oh yeah, I have to do this thing, and they don't really talk about it. I'm going to talk about it. If you don't like that, you don't have to listen to the life portion. That's fine. You can just be here for the stitching and the knitting. I'm fine with that. But it's my life. It's going to affect my life. It's going to affect me. And I'm going to talk about it. I'm not going to hide it under, I don't know what I'm trying to say. I know way too many people who've gone through breast cancer. Some talk about it, some don't. It's all up to them. Do what you need to get through it for yourself. I don't like talking about it. It's not fun. I don't want to do this again. But I am. Again. And that's where I am in life. 3 breast cancers in 3 years. 2 at the same time. Didn't know. Yeah, bonus surprise breast cancer. Yeah, I'm still kind of daunted by that. That said, I'm on tamoxifen now, so hopefully that stops things. I'm going to do radiation. That will cook things, so good. And I potentially will be doing chemo. I do not know. Like I said, I won't be finding that out for 4 weeks. So by the next time I film, I still won't know. Hopefully I won't be having side effects from the tamoxifen, and hopefully my shoulder will have recovered more. Oh my gosh. My shoulder just is in agony. Hopefully that'll be better. Like my entire shoulder blade just hurts. all the cutting is over here and over here. It's not, why does my shoulder blade hurt so very much? Okay, I get it. That I was laying on it and they had me in odd positions, I'm sure. I can tell where they strapped me down because it hurts. Still. I'm amused. As you heal, you feel all the other parts, because the bad pain, you focus on that for a while and then the bad pain goes away and you're like, oh, I'm sore there too. Oh, and I'm sore there as well. And I am so, how am I sore there? It's fascinating. I don't want to see what they do to people in surgery, but gosh, I wish I could see what they do to people in surgery. I'm just fascinated to see what position did they have me in for my body to still hurt like this. Anyhow, I've made it through so far, and I will continue to make it through. I will beat this again. I did it the first time. I'll do it this time as well. And hopefully I won't have to do this again. That's my goal. Other than that with life, I have a chocolate party that I do annually. I'm doing that this year, this weekend. So we'll be having our annual chocolate party. It's going to be kind of low key because I am still recovering. I am also taking this opportunity to call it my birthday celebration. A friend and I, we have a birthday a month apart from each other, and we're stealing a page out of his wife and another friend of ours' book, because the year before, when they turned 50, they had a joint birthday party that was really fun. And so we're stealing a page out of their book, and we're calling my chocolate party our joint 50th, 100 years of awesome. Or the oldening. Depends on which way you want to go. I've been calling it the oldening because I'm old now. So that'll be happening. That'll be fun. Again, it's going to be low key. Everybody knows. But that's okay. Low key is good. Low key is also very... Loki is also neat, but low key is what I'm talking about, not Loki, the Norse god. Words, enunciation, it changes what you mean. That'll be fun. Looking forward to it. My plan this week is to figure out what mocktail I want to have so that I can have some a fun mixed drink that isn't alcoholic. So I'm going to find myself a fun mocktail to mix for myself. And that'll be neat. I'm looking forward to that. I have some sparkling tea that I can open up. It's weird stuff, but I kind of like it. So I'll open up a bottle of sparkling tea for the party, and I'll have some kind of mocktail, and we'll have chocolate, and we'll have Italian prune plum bread, and all sorts of delightful things. Other than that, I'm trying to get out walking and doing all of those things, getting my energy levels back up after surgery. It's going okay. Life is life. I'm planning on going back to work, not this week, but next. And I will work for a couple of weeks before I find out what happens next on my journey. on this version of my cancer journey. And yeah. Oh, my shirt, it says, "This is my t-shirt." Because I love tea. Oh, last thing from life. I'm just babbling at this point. Last thing for life. After my first surgery, while high on drugs from the hospital, I purchased tons of tea and didn't know. I purchased tons of tea off the internet, and tea just kept showing up. It was funny. It's a joke in the house. I love tea, I do. And evidently, when I was high from surgery meds, that's what I did, as I purchased tea. This time, I did not purchase tea while I was high. No, I purposely purchased tea. I purchased nothing while I was high. I really focused on not doing that this time. I succeeded. I'm very proud of myself. Evidently, the main thing that I did is I wanted my son's quilt. I don't remember asking for it, but I after my surgery, evidently, when I got home, I was all, I want David's quilt. My son. I don't know. Anyhow, I did purposely buy tea. The first day that I took tamoxifen, it bothered me. Not like the medication. I took one pill. It physically, the pill did nothing. It was a mental thing. It was, I think, just I have to take this pill every day for at least 5 years. I'm still not sure. It may not even be this pill, but I had to do something every single day for an unknown number of years because of cancer, which means that every single day for a very long time, I get a daily reminder that I've had cancer and that I still have to fight this cancer, even though technically it's no longer there, but I have to fight a return of it. And that struck me emotionally. And my response to that, once I calmed down, was I'm going to do something that I enjoy. And I purchased a 6-month tea subscription at Plum Deluxe. I like Plum Deluxe teas, so that's what I did. I purchased a 6-month supply, well, a 6-month club. So every month I will be getting some assortment of tea from Plum Deluxe. I believe my sister gave this to me as a gift last time I went through cancer, and I really enjoyed it. I've drunk all those teas. They are gone. So I'm doing it again because tea may not fix everything, but it's something I can look forward to. It's something I can enjoy. And it's also something that once I drink it, it's out of my house. It's gone. I don't need to add to any kind of physical stash of crafting. So I found a way to hopefully mentally have a time, because I can take that time, because I do. I make my tea, and I don't do it every day, but when I'm having a stressful day or I'm having a stressful moment, I will make myself a cup of tea. And I will sit down with my tea and I will look outside and I'll look at the birds and I'll look at the deer walking through my yard and the whatever animals happen to be out there at the time, preferably not watching coyotes running through. That's a little creepy because there's people who let their pets out and I always go, ooh, look at the deer and look at the owls and look at the flickers in the yard and whatever. And I sit there and I just decompress with a cup of tea. When it's nice enough, I go outside on my porch and I do that. So, yeah, I purposely bought tea this time. And I will probably have some of those teas to share with you all when they show up. And because I joined their tea club, they gave me a coupon for, I think for the 6 months one, it was $20 off a purchase. So I went, ooh, okay. Oh, you're doing dessert and chocolate teas for the month of February. So I purchased more tea. Tricky people. Tricky tea people here. Here, you've signed up for a 6-month club. Let's give you a coupon off so you spend even more money on even more tea. Still have bought less than I did the first time. But at least this time I know I did it. So this is my t-shirt, and I'm going to enjoy my tea. I have finished that cup of tea, so I think now I have spoken for way too long. I don't even know how long this is going to be. If you are still here, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm hoping that more regularly scheduled episodes will be what will be in the future, and I won't be babbling quite so much. We will see. And until then, I have enjoyed watching so many Flosstubes and knitting podcasts and whip parades. And I have a list of things that I really liked looking at, and I am not purchasing any of them. I am feeling very proud about that. We'll see how long it lasts. So far, I'm doing okay. Still the huge backlog of whip parades to watch, but I am slowly getting through regular episodes. I totally forgot. Thank you. If you're still here, Mad Morty and the Brom, I might chunk this in earlier because I meant to. Mad Morty and the Brom, they shouted me out on their Flosstube, and they're a delightful couple from over the pond, on the other side of the pond. Delightful, and I cannot wait to see more progress on the dwarven modern folk embroidery piece that they're working on. It's gorgeous, and I want to see more of it. I totally forgot to shout those up, to thank them for that shout out. I'm so sorry. Sweet people, very kind. If you're still here, go watch them if you aren't already. Seriously, and I'm sorry for not having this in earlier. We'll see what editing Lee decides to do. The brain still isn't quite firing everywhere, so it may end up being at the end, and for that I apologize. We'll see what I could do. I don't know if I'm that talented today, though. Anyhow, thank you so much. If you're still here, I appreciate it. And I will check you. I will see you all in 2 weeks. That's what we're getting to. I will see you all in 2 weeks. I hope all of you are doing as well as you can be. There's a lot going on in the world right now, and a lot of it is really bad. I am not shy about my political persuasion. I think that was pretty obvious at the beginning. I'm not going to be quiet about it now. I think being quiet about it isn't going to help anyone. Call your legislators, people. Vote. Y'all know. Y'all know. Anyhow, I hope everyone is doing as well as they can be in what's going on, and I hope your health is as good as it can be. I do hope that everyone is taking care of their mental health as much as they can, and make sure to have your mammograms, people. Do the monthly exams yourself. Mine never would have been found that way, but many are. So do the things, do the needful, do all of the needful. And until I see you again in 2 weeks, I hope all of you do as well as you can. And happy crafting. Take care all. Bye-bye.